Today's show is brought to you by Catholify, the Catholic prayer app, and by Ave Explores, everyday faith for everyday people. Howdy, folks, and welcome into Forte Catholic. My name's Taylor Sorrell, and I'm here celebrating the episode after episode 200 with my friend Jonathan Blevins. How you doing, Jonathan?
Wait a second. You mean I get to be the hangover episode?
You are the hangover episode, John.
Of that incredible stuff.
I'm surprised you're here, honestly. You're a man, you're a busy man. You've got a lot going on. And last week was actually supposed to be your episode. So you have every right. We celebrated, for those who don't know, we celebrated episode 200 by getting all the co-hosts together. It was an absolute blast. It was you, Father Anthony, Liv Harrison. And we had an absolute blast. But last week was supposed to be your episode. So you could have been like, no, I don't want these punks on my episode. This is mine. And you didn't. And you had a lot of fun, I think. What did you think of last week?
Listen, it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. Liv, like, I've only heard one or two episodes of her since I started listening to the podcast, because it's a great podcast, even when I'm not on it. And she's a hoot, but she was even more fun to do it with. Like, because I don't understand, listening to you and her go, I don't understand the dynamic yet between you two. I understand it a heck of a lot more now that I got to witness it. And so she's fun, man. She's fun. And I got to follow her on social media. And of course, Father Anthony and I love, with you, love doing all kinds of stuff. So it's been great.
Yeah, cool. So you heard it here first. John now likes Liv better than he likes Father Anthony. That's what he just said.
It's certainly close. It's certainly close. She's great. And so it was a very fun episode. I got to listen to it. You produced it well. It was good.
So what's funny about when I was listening back to it, so yeah, like the normal show takes like an hour and a half to edit. The show last week took 6 hours because there was just everybody talking over each other and all, which is normal. It's not like anybody was being rude, but it was just funny. But one thing that I noticed is I'm super extroverted. Liv is super extroverted. And the other two of you guys are have a little bit more introversion to you. Like just in my interactions with y'all, I would say Anthony's probably next and then you. So it was funny. Like, it kind of felt like you needed to kind of feel out what was going on, because for the first 5-6 minutes, you didn't say much. And then you were just like, I'm comfortable now. And then you had a normal show. I just thought it was funny.
Well, if it was my show, I'd be so much more extroverted, but I try to know my place, know your role.
What are you talking about? Know your place?
You're the host, bro. So I'm listen, with Golic and Greeny, which is kind of sensitive nowadays since they broke up on ESPN. They had their roles, and Greeny was the guy who led the show, and Golic said goofy things. But if you would have flipped those roles, Golic could have done it.
So, but I lead it and say the goofy things. So what do you do?
Exactly, nothing. I'm a trophy wife.
Great callback to Liv Harrison.
Thank you.
Last week. So I want to thank everybody for reaching out. There's a lot of people that reached out. We got more traction on that episode than we did on anything else. People have really responded well to it. So I want to thank you guys for not only being so kind on episode 200, but being along for the ride. Whether you've listened to 1 episode, 10 episodes, 100, or you're going straight to heaven and have listened to all 200. It's just great to be here. It's great to be with all of you. And now I'm just with John. And you mentioned one thing last week, John, where you were like, I want to talk about sports. You were making fun of me because my big news that I kind of hinted at last week, but didn't really get into, is that I am now a football coach at the local Catholic school where I've been working for the last 5 years, and I've been the track coach there for 5 years, and now I'm coaching football, and you wanted to make fun of me. That's the first thing you did.
Was that it?
It was it.
Did I want to make fun of you, or did I want to talk about the fact that day the Big Ten canceled the season? And so I think I was going to make fun of the fact that you think you're going to actually play football this year when you're really not.
And I responded, I will reiterate, this is Texas. We have different rules.
Which I kind of believe and kind of agree with. I mean, the Cowboys came out and Jerry Jones was like, we will have fans in the stands. And if that's true, if the Cowboys are actually going to have fans and no one else is, and we're going to find out whether or not fans have a real difference in the game. I think they do make a difference. We'll see. But you could be right. I do have a feeling almost all high school sports across the country will eventually shut down. But obviously Texas football will be the one to prove me wrong.
Yeah. So what's funny is the only reason I'm able to do this is that the rest of the world is canceled. Because usually I'm not able to coach. I've been asked to coach football and basketball for the last 5 years, ever since I've been around here, because I played all three of those sports. And I can never say yes, because like when I speak and lead worship, I'm usually I'm traveling 2 to 3 weeks out of the month, right? Not for the whole week, but like for a day or two, throughout the month. And usually those are on the weekends. And I don't want to get into all the specifics, but let's just say I can make 2 to 3 times as much in one day event as I do for the whole season of a coaching stipend. So
Wow.
if it comes up to, coaching for the whole, 3-4 months or doing one event, I'm going to pick that one event, because I like to feed my children. But John, no traveling this fall. I will not be doing any event. I have one event still that hasn't canceled, and boy, I'm holding out on that one and hoping it happens. I doubt it will. But yeah, I'm not traveling, so I have all the time in the world. So I'm going to go pour into these young men and try to be good at sports.
That's incredible. You're going to be great. You know that I think I support all you do in your manly endeavors of coaching these ridiculous heavy hitting sports. Not that women can't do it, but you know what I mean. And
wow, that came out of nowhere.
What? You know it. It's just all I do every time I say anything. I gotta get canceled for not clarifying. Like, stop it. You're gonna go.
What's funny is, like, usually when it's like clarifying, you understand what the person was trying to say. I have no idea what you were trying to say.
No, stop. I'm trying to say I support all this stuff, and I'm glad. I just want to hear you do something ridiculous. Remember when you got kicked out of that basketball game?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I want you to meme yourself. You got to like record yourself saying something to these dudes that I tell you to say, that other coaches in the NFL or college have said, so that we can laugh on our own. We need to take advantage of this, my friend. I need you to put like a hidden camera that just sees your face. All I want to see is your face. And I want you to be like, you don't come after some kid. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm a grown man. Like,
I'm 40.
I'm 40. I just want – you have to do this, bro, for me. The entertainment. I'm happy you can feed your family. I'm happy that you get to do something you love. I'm mostly happy for the memes.
So there's something – I think this might have been before we were friends or before we got close, one of the two. I don't know if you know this story, but I got in trouble for doing something pretty similar to what you're talking about. And I think it's long enough now that I can share about it. But before I coached the football team, I was the play-by-play or the color commentator for the radio broadcast.
Okay.
And I did it for, like maybe 3 weeks in a row, and everything was great. Like, we were having an absolute blast. It was a lot of fun. And then, I mean, it's a high school 6-man football game. There's only so much color commentary you can do after you've done it for 3 weeks in a row. So I was like, I want to be creative. I want to add some things to this. So then some of my friends started listening, like people who aren't like fans of the local team. They're just like, I want to mess with Taylor. Like, kind of what you're talking about. Like, I want to see Taylor meme himself. And they started giving me words that I had to weave into the color commentary. So we did that for weeks and had so much fun. And then the best, like my crowning achievement as a color commentator is that they started giving me words that I needed to make the play-by-play guy say. And I did it. I succeeded 100% of the time, and it was an absolute blast.
That's incredible. Yes, this is what I want to do.
I was chastised, but I don't think I'll be chastised for doing similar things with the football team. So
good. I'm looking forward to it.
But not only are our local sports back, but you're a big sports fan. You've been doing this. You've been like talking sports on your Twitch stream for the last, I don't know, a few weeks, month or so. You've been kind of taking a break from the video games. You've been doing a thing and taking a break from things you're good at and trying other things. Now, the sports thing, you're pretty good. We won't talk about the Twitch things. You've also been playing Fall Guys, which we'll get to Fall Guys later on in the show.
Great.
But the sports thing. It's been so much fun for me to there are NBA games today. The NBA game started at 12, and there was another one at 3. There's another one at 6, and there's another one at 9. Like, there are sports all day, every day, which is making up for the 4 months we didn't have them. And I'm just really happy to watch the competition.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. It's good to see. It's good. Like, even like, so my buddy Jeremy and I have been doing these streams like Tuesdays, once a week, just an hour and a half. Like there's like ESPN 1000 in Chicago has a Twitch stream. There's all these radio shows that are doing Twitch streaming, but none of them are actually doing anything on Twitch. Like it's just literally recording it. They're not paying attention to the chat. There's no emotes for the subs. And so I was like, man, somebody should do like some kind of sports show where the crowd, the people watching can like join, like they do, like they call. And it's been a lot of fun, but it's so good that the first 2 weeks we were just talking about what's going to happen when sports comes back. And now we can talk about sports. And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, hockey's happening, and there's been some crazy things there. The NBA with the Phoenix Suns won like 13 games in a row and didn't make the playoffs. That's a joke. It just proves how much the NBA playoffs can be a joke. But that started now, and it's fun. And is LeBron going to get another ring? And is it gonna be an asterisk next to it since it was a crazy season, and he'll finally beat Jordan someday? But there's going to be it's just so exciting to think about. So yeah, I love sports. They're back, and the world needs them, man. The world, like, I hate to say needs. There was a JD Flynn tweeted recently, like, what if we don't need sports and we can recognize community? I'm like, we've already had no sports for 5 months. We need the good things that sports can bring. I always think about, like, when I think of good sports, like what have sports done for cities? Like when the Saints won the Super Bowl, either the year of or the year after, a couple years after, or made the Super Bowl after Katrina, like what they were able to do to unite that city around that, and really the whole state of Louisiana, was just incredible. And like sports can do that, and they can elevate us. They don't always take things away. And so it's good that they're back.
You ready for my really spicy take?
Oh boy, here we go.
You took one spicy take and recounted it. I'm going to swing the pendulum even further than you did.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that sports and like the example I was thinking of. So like that is, I think it's the best example, but I think sports in general, sports fandom, sports teams does community better than any church that I've ever been a part of and any Catholic church in my lifetime.
Spicy.
No, like it seriously, like it's like when do we get back to community? Like ever since sports has started, the big thing that it's doing, I think, is just bringing normalcy back to people's lives. So for people who are sports fans, it's bringing normalcy back, and people who aren't sports fans, it brings back normalcy by making fun of sports fans. Like either way, it's bringing back some normalcy. But at the same time, it's like there is like, it's not just that sports are back. But like I had a conversation with my friend where we argued about our sports teams for an hour. That's been gone for five months, and we enjoyed it. Like we're literally arguing, and we enjoyed it because that's what you can do with sports and fandom and all these sorts of things. So a lot of normalcy is coming back. Like, I mean, there were a couple months, like I've shared on the show over the last. It's been a crazy 5 months for everybody. It's been a crazy 5 months for me. Like literally, I'm doing completely different things. Professionally, personally, my time, everything is different than it was 5 months ago today. So like there was no normalcy in my life. I had to recreate everything, my schedule, recreate a business, like literally everything. And so like sports coming back is one part of normalcy. Like a group of people that I've been playing video games with, playing together again is form of normalcy. I think it's different for everyone. But we've all been in this sense of waiting and longing for our lives to be back, like our normal lives, right? And I think we've learned a lot of things through the craziness and all that. But we all long for normalcy, and I think we're in this transition time where some things are coming back. A lot of people are like, hey, this is my first time I've gotten to go on a date with my wife outside. This is the first time I've been able to do this, and like so sports being back. Like I know it's kind of a controversial thing, but like. Our kids start school tomorrow, and it's like a lot of people aren't, and that I get that. I'm not saying like this transition time is going to look different for everybody, but slowly and surely we're all going to get some sort of normalcy back, even if it's not 100%. But those little things, I struggle with hope. And like, I want to sit here and be like, nothing's ever going to be good again. But it's these little things, sports being back. That's 1% more hope that I have that things are going to get better. My kids going back to school, 1% more hope. And like, so I don't know, just this feeling of normalcy coming back has been good for me, and also helping me be more patient with the things that haven't become normal yet.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because normally I am like my wife calls me the eternal optimist. Like I really am. We literally, bro, I lost my dishwasher, my garbage disposal, my air conditioning unit, my furnace, and the transmission on my car in a week and a half.
How do you misplace all those things?
They ran away, all of them. A week and a half, all of them gone, dude. Like, it's like 15 or 16 or 17K, right? And I'm like, what? Like, and I'm looking at Jody and I'm like, we're going to be all right. Like, we're going to be okay. Like, the Lord provides. Like, I'll stream them more here, you know. And so, or we did a temporary fix in the AC unit so we can postpone it until next fall. Like, I'm like, it's going to be okay. God's always taking care of us. And she's like, how are you always so optimistic? And with COVID, I'm the opposite, bro. So you're sitting here and you're like, all right, man, 1% of hope, sports, school. And I'm just like, man, they're giving us the rope, like that, just to take it away again. They're gonna a lot of schools are closing after they open after a week in New York and Illinois. Like, public schools are all closed everywhere except for Catholic schools are open. And it's like, oh, do we send our kids there? So I'm just sitting here like, man, they're just going to shut everything down eventually. Like, baseball season won't finish. NBA will because they're in a bubble. Hockey, they're on an island, so they're fine. In NFL, I think they'll find a way. It looks like college might get canceled. Big Ten pulled out already. So I appreciate your hope, and you're actually giving me hope. So thank you, Taylor. But, man, I just don't see a world where normalcy – I think we're a year and a half out of normalcy.
We're just inch by inch, you know.
I hope.
Inch by inch, which every inch matters. We brought it back to sports. That's the old. It's a game of inches, man.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right because I love sports, man. If the NFL season gets canceled this year, that will hit. That will hit me hard, bro. Because it just is. It's my other than church. It's my escape. Like, it's a healthy escape in my opinion. Like, just 3.5 hours. The only thing that matters is that Lions game for those 3.5 hours. I love it. My kids love it. My wife loves it. My family. So I'm hoping it comes back.
But, John, you'd get a whole nother season for the Lions to rebuild without adding 12 losses to their resume.
Listen, dude. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The Detroit Lions are going to make the playoffs this year, and I'm not even going to be able to go to the game. I have literally not had the opportunity since I've been alive to go to a home Lions football game, for a home playoff Lions football game. If this year is the first year that I have the chance to do it and fans aren't allowed in the stadium, I'm sneaking in. FBI, cover your ears. I'm sneaking in. I am. I will go down the chimney, bro.
I don't think the stadium has a chimney.
I will apply to be a maintenance man. I'll clean. Never mind. Yeah. I'll be there. Let's just say that.
Well, John has said that he likes Liv more than Father Anthony. He's admitted to planning many crimes. But there's something else you did that was even crazier than any of those couple things. So, you know, we have this whole thing where we're shifting towards normalcy, but at the same time, like, we all know that everything is different. And there's something that you did recently that I doubt you would have ever done if none of this would have happened, because I think you made a poor decision. And it was funny, but it was a poor decision.
Oh gosh, why do I not know yet which thing you're going to talk about?
I told you in the show prep.
I make so many poor decisions.
Jody was actually texting me earlier and sending me a list as I was doing some show prep.
Great.
No, you did this like death nut challenge thing on your stream where you ate a bunch of very spicy things. And
yeah,
you've done. We talked before about you eating spicy things. It was like with Life Teen where you ate all the hot wings or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were so mad at your friend and mine, Joel, for cheating. I didn't think you'd ever do it again, and you did it, and it wasn't. You explain it.
Yeah. Well, let me give Joel a quick fun shout out here because he did another hot wing challenge with me for Life Teen during COVID when I was out there in AZ. And filmed it, and we both got the hottest wings from Wingstop, and oh my goodness, bro! Like he just can handle, like, we can both handle spice, but his body handles it better than mine, dude. I'm drenched like a waterfall, and he looks mildly annoyed. So shout out Joel, love you, bud. But I did this Death Nut challenge. I initially called out Ty and Chris, my bros. I was like, let's do this. Let's live stream it. It'd be fun. Tyler's been like off the stream for a while. He's figuring out who he's going to sign with and what's he going to do. And so I'm like, dude, it'd be fun to stream together. We'll do a Zoom call together. We can catch up. Like, the dynamic will be hilarious. Like, our reactions will be funny. And then Jess I love Jess. I've been streaming a lot with her lately. And she just ran with it and was like, Tyler won't do it, but I'm in. And then Chris was like, I'm in. And I couldn't believe Chris did it because he's like not a big spice guy. And Julia, Chris's wife, was like, let's do it. So we streamed Sunday night. 9 p.m. Central, we streamed eating. I have it right here, actually, for those who are watching on YouTube. Are there YouTube people watching?
Yes.
As this is being recorded, great. Death Nut Challenge right here. Okay, it's 5 levels. Getting started, warming up. It's getting real. Pain sets in, and the Death Nut. They took new pepper blends using the 6 hottest peppers on Earth and improved coating processes for better flavor and crunch. Then we added pure 13 million Scoville capsaicin crystals to the Death Nut, creating a level of heat we've never experienced before. So pure capsaicin is 16 million. That's what you get pepper sprayed with in the eye, and if you inhale that, you can die. 13 million Scoville units, 3 million away only. 200, put that in perspective, Sriracha is 250,000. So, like, you're
not smart. That's the only perspective I need.
Hold on, let me just give you one more perspective. The Hot Ones Challenge, which you've seen, one of my favorite YouTube things, where the celebrities eat hot wings and the guy interviews them. The Last Dab, which is the hottest wing they have on there, is 2 million. And we did the Death Nut Challenge, which is 13 million.
Yeah, not smart.
It was not smart. I regret it. Okay, I don't regret it. I would never do it again. And you could be like, John, what if I pay for everything you just mentioned earlier, AC, all that stuff to get fixed? If you do it again? No, I would say absolutely not. I will never do it again. I don't regret it because it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing that I couldn't have known how bad it was going to be. I was so sweaty. I expected that part. I expected the pain in the mouth and all that stuff, and it was as bad as I thought it would be. And then I was hopeful that my stomach would just be okay. I don't know. I was hopeful that, like, I have a pretty large, stomach, and it can withhold many things. I figured I'd be okay. Bro, there was a 5 to 7 minute period that I walked away from my chair. I don't know how detailed you want me to get right now, but basically
not at all.
Let's just say I was in about 15 different positions near a toilet, and 15, and looking at my wife and begging her to take me to the ER. And I'm not even kidding.
I don't know why you didn't talk to anyone about this. We would have all told you not to do it.
Bro, it was cool. I can say I did it now.
No, it's not cool. And you didn't earn any points in my book, but you're ridiculous. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to end this segment. We're going to come back in the next segment, and we're going to talk about what we as Catholics need to do when we make decisions we shouldn't have made, and that's called going to confession. And I'm going to let John, I have 3 new stories that I'm going to try to do. I'm writing my next confession talk, and John, you're going to tell me which one I should use. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Do you ever struggle to integrate your Catholic faith with your day-to-day lifestyle? We all know I do. You've heard this show. Have you ever wanted to know more about why we celebrate certain traditions, or what the faith teaches about mental health, social justice, or other popular topics? Maybe you're looking for a fresh, engaging, and practical way to learn about the Catholic faith that also feels relevant to you. Ave Explores is a new initiative that was created with all those thoughts in mind. Hosted by my friend Katie Prejean-McGrady, Ave Explores aims to explore aspects of the Catholic faith from a variety of different angles and break down their meanings and importance for everyday Catholics. Each series features top guests from the Catholic world, including Jeannie Gaffigan, Hilarious, Scott Hahn, Gary Zimick, Father John Burns, and so many more. And you want to know the best part? All the podcasts, videos, articles, resources, everything is free. So check out Ave Explores podcast, hosted by Katie Prejean-McGrady. Today, the new season just launched, and it's phenomenal. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. You can also subscribe to all the free content at AveMariaPress.com or by following Ave Maria Press on social media. Ave Explores, everyday faith for everyday people. Welcome back to Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Schroll. That is Jonathan Bearded Blevins. And I let people know what we're going to be doing in this segment. So last week, I put all 3 of my co-hosts through everybody's new favorite game, where you have to come up with a 60-second sermon with 3 words that I give you. So I did not play last week, but I wanted to kind of flip it. So essentially, John, you are in charge of this segment. I have 3 stories, 3 new things that have come up in the last 2 weeks. And I'm prepping for this confession talk that I'm going to give here pretty soon. And you're going to decide, John, which one of these 3 that I use, or if I should use neither of them. Does that premise make sense to you?
Yes, the premise makes sense. And since I'm in charge, please sit up straight.
Okay, I'm sitting up straight.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, sir. All right. The first one, and here's the thing. I'm not just going to give it like a talk. I'm going to interact with you, because actually at least 2 of these 3 are heavily involved with you. So a few months ago, you made a mistake, and I almost made a mistake. So I'm not flipping this on you, but it's going to feel like that for a moment. You made a mistake because during COVID times, beard trimming is not a thing like publicly. Like even places that are cutting hair now, like you have to wear a mask, and it's really hard to trim a beard when you're wearing a mask over it. So there have been no public beard trimmings. I usually trim mine. Get mine trimmed about every month and a half or 2 months, okay? And it's been 5. So my beard last week, 2 weeks ago, I forget when I did it, super bushy. I mean, like it was the same length off my chin as it was all like next to my ears, and it was ridiculous, like just utterly ridiculous. And I was scared to do it myself because I've always been scared to do it myself because one time I made the mistake of trying to trim my beard instead of just shave it all off, and I nicked it. And there was a patch gone, and I had to just completely go bald face, right?
Been there.
I know you've been there because you did it a few months ago. So I had that in mind. I had your baby face with no beard in mind. And I'm looking at myself and like, I'm not seeing anybody, but I'm still recording the show. And I was watching the videos as I was editing them. I was like, I look terrible. Like I can't keep putting myself out there like this. So I was like, all right, I'm going to trim it. I'm going to trim from like, essentially try to curve it down, keep the length in the bottom, but like take off next to my ears and kind of fade it in. And I was so scared that I was going to nick it, like someone in your family did and made you very bald face. So here's the thing: a lot of times we can make when we make mistakes. There are consequences to those mistakes. I trimmed mine perfectly, and I look amazing. You looked terrible. There was a mistake.
Your mustache looks particularly incredible.
Well, thank you, sir. I can't pull off the mustache by itself because I look like a creeper. But as long as I have the rest of the facial hair, it's perfectly fine. But you made the mistake, and you had to shave it all off. And I say you as in the royal you because I know someone else was involved.
Yes.
So you had to shave it all off. And here we sit now. This was what, 3-4 months ago that this happened, John?
I did it that was in May. So May 15th. So June, July, August. Yeah, like 3 months.
Okay, so 3 months ago. And now you look great. The beard is back. But there was a time where you had to deal with the consequences of what happened. Some people, definitely not me, some people made fun of you incessantly.
Definitely not you.
It's mostly me. But you had to deal with it, and like you're a public person, like people were watching the stream, and like you were just getting dogged on and kind of dragged through the mud for a few
people were
weeks.
brutal.
Yeah, other people, definitely not me.
I'm pretty sure someone called me a cue ball. That was bad.
That wasn't me, but it will be next time. So don't do it again. So a couple things. When we sin, there are punishments. Like there's eternal punishments, right? Like when we make a mistake, which is what a sin is like there are eternal consequences. But if we go to heaven, those eternal consequences can be taken away. But like if you kill a guy, you're gonna go to jail. Like there are still consequences on this earth, right? You killed your beard, and there were consequences on this earth. But, after time, it's like it never happened. It's like your beard went to confession. That's not the point I'm trying to make. But it is kind of funny because essentially it grew back. So beards are like virtue. And yes, that is the point I'm making here. So the bigger beard you have, the more virtuous you are. So like, obviously I'm the most virtuous on the show. You're next. Father Anthony's second. And Liv is obviously a heathen because she doesn't have a beard.
No, mine destroys yours right now. So I'm first.
No way.
Mine's way longer than yours right now.
No, it's not.
Are you kidding me,
bro?
dude?
Come on, bro.
Okay, yours is a little curlier than I thought, but mine is too.
Mine is pretty.
My beard is bigger than yours.
Well, see, I never say that. You come at me and I tell you the truth and win, and then you get all upset and you're like, rah, 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 Taylor's dead.
I got this neck beard going though. Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. So essentially, there's like this point. Obviously, this wouldn't be the whole talk about confession, but it's kind of a funny like a joke about how there are things that we need to deal with. Even when we go to confession, there are still things that we need to deal with. That's why we have penance and things to get better. Your penance was people making fun of you while you grew a beard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. The first thing about confession. Okay. The second one. Have you ever heard of an ionic foot bath?
No.
Okay. I think ever since I started like taking care of my body more, like essentially since COVID happened, like started working out and started trying to eat better and all these sorts of things. Obviously my phone hears everything I say and it probably reads my thoughts. So I've been getting all these ads for things to take care of your body, and I've bought most of them. So one of them is an ionic foot bath. And essentially what you do, it has an ionizer, and I don't know the science. I've looked it up. It ionizes the water. You put salt in it. You put your feet in it, and it sucks stuff out of your feet, like toxins and metals and all this kind of stuff that is in our bodies. It's like it like detoxes you, right? Okay. So like you sit in it, and it's white water, and after the 30 minutes, like it was brown water. Like there's stuff coming out of me. Okay. All right. So, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, this has to be fake, right? Like, this can't be real. And then, I was like, well, I asked this guy who's worked on professional athletes. He works on me a couple of times a year. He does myofascial release treatment. Like, he's like kind of this guru, right? And I asked him, and he was like, yeah, they work. So while I'm in the ionic foot bath, I'm on YouTube, and I watched an even number of videos saying these are absolutely fake, it's not real, and an even number of videos saying that those videos are fake and just trying to say it's fake because they don't understand it, right? So here I am in the foot bath, and I did it for 30 minutes, and I'm still not sure if it worked. But the one thing that I have that's not anything external is like my feet were tingly almost the whole time that my feet were in it. Right?
Okay. Yep.
The water did change color, but it wasn't coming out of my feet. I could see it coming out of the ionizer thing. So I'm still not 100% sure on it. But I think it still did something, because I did feel better for the next few days. And my feet, like they were tingling. It's like something was, like I was being detoxed, right? So the confession is just like getting all the gunk out, right? Like we have all this extra stuff. We have all these things that aren't supposed to be in us. We were created good. We were created in the image and likeness of God. We sin, and we have all this gunk in us, our actual sin, and then our attachments to those sins, right?
Yep.
So the good thing is like, you know, some people will argue, just like they'll argue about the ionic bath, you know, like does it actually work? Does it not work? People are, you know, very vehemently on either side, and like Protestants and Catholics, vehemently on different sides when it comes to if confession works and why we confess to a priest and all these kinds of things, right? But we as Catholics believe that it absolutely does work. So there you go, ionic foot bath confession.
Okay, that one is what's that show, dude? American that? That's a no from me, dog.
Yeah.
Bruh, I mean, okay, I'm ready for number 3. I'm ready.
Okay.
I see where you're going.
All right, number 3. New video game called Fall Guys.
Yes.
You've been playing.
Number 3. I picked number 3.
Okay. I haven't started.
Okay, continue.
Fall Guys proves that God isn't real. You picked number 3.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to mess with you. Okay. So Fall Guys, this new game, it's kind of sweeping through popularity right now. And John played it, and he's terrible. I just watched him.
I'm a lot better. You even said you saw improvement.
I did see improvement, and I'm getting there. Okay. So I watched your first 40 minutes of playing, and here's the thing. I mostly watch you play Fortnite, and you're very good at Fortnite. Like I've played with you. I've watched you play. You're very talented. I've also heard stories that you're very talented at Madden. I've never seen it with my own eyes. So it's kind of like the ionic foot bath for me. I'm not sure if it's real. But I know that you're generally good at video games, right? I watched the first 30 minutes and I was ashamed for you. Like I understand that there was a new game and you had never played it before, but I experienced the same thing 2 days ago. I played it for the first time and I got 8th place on my second time, and you didn't qualify for round 2. There's like 5 or 6 rounds every time. You didn't qualify. You didn't get out of the qualifying round for 30 minutes.
Yeah. I thought it might be even longer than that.
Yeah. No. And then you ended up, placing high. Neither of us have won a game, so I can't talk too much smack. But you ended up like, you start getting closer and closer and closer, right? So essentially you're playing Fall Guys, and it's literally called Fall Guys because you play there's 60 people, you play these characters. If you fall off the map, you're out. Like it's over, right?
Yep.
But then so here I am, I'm going down the map, and if I'm not in the top, 20 people for this round, I don't move forward. Or if I fall off, like in some games, I get another chance within that round. You fall off certain times, it just sends you back in the map, like in the races. There's other ones that like you fall, you're out, and that's it. You're done. Okay. So, and then if at the end of the game, you get sent to like the main menu, and you just have to load in to a new game, right? So here's the thing. We all fall. Every time we sin, we fall short of the glory of God. We fail. And we have this choice to make. One, are we going to get back up again? Right? So in Fall Guys, there's real consequences for our sins. Like you fall down, and a lot of times the game is over. Like you have to restart, but that restart is like going to confession, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to start again, and you start a new game. And just like I watched you go from utterly terrible at the game to like, okay, he's decent now, right? Over the course of time. So that's just like our spiritual lives. We come in, a lot of us as teenagers, when a lot of people start hearing about the faith, junior high, high school, college, like that area, right? And we're heathens. We're bad people. We're sinning all the time. And it's like you at the beginning of Fall Guys. You're just you're running and then you just fall off. You're running and you fall off. You have to restart. But hopefully over the course of time of your spiritual life, you're still going to fall. We are all sinners. We're still going to fall, but hopefully we get a little further. We get 8th place out of 60. We get 7th place. We get 6th place. We start getting consistently better. We're not getting 60th anymore. The worst we do is get 30th. Like we're just consistently making progress and getting better. When we fall off, we go to confession. That's like the home screen. We restart. We play the game again.
Yes. Are you suggesting that that Chumbawamba was actually a allegory about God? I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me. Yeah?
You didn't know that? It's written to Satan.
I had no idea.
It's not, but it was funny.
That is funny. But hey, number 3 wins.
I know number 3 wins.
3, 1, 3, 1, 2 in that order.
Yeah, I think so too. And like, I'm not even kidding. I'm giving a confession talk soon, and I'm absolutely going to talk about Fall Guys because all the kids are going to be playing.
What age?
High school.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah, it's high school boys. So I'm going to have a blast with that. I'm doing that on Friday, like in like 2 or 3 days. So if you're listening to this before Friday of the week that this comes out, send up a prayer that my Fall Guys talk goes well.
Yes. I just want to say I appreciated all 3 stories, particularly the horrible Ion thing. That's not real. That's fake. But fake news. How was that? Am I getting better?
It was pretty good. That was really good.
But all great stories. Number 3 wins. That's great.
I thought so too. I didn't like the second one as much, but I needed a bad one. So the beard one, I had to use you. It was really just an excuse to make fun of you. So
thank you.
There we go.
Cue ball.
Cue ball. Cue ball and I will be right back for our final segment. Don't go anywhere. Let me tell you about Catholify. It's a free Catholic app with its mission being for you to simply pray more. Like we all need a little bit of that in our lives today. As of today, speaking of that, Catholify has captured over 473 years worth of prayer, over 307,000 rosaries. That's unbelievable. In Catholify, you will find catechism, Bible, mass times, live adoration, a group chat feature, and so much more. If someone asks you a question about Our Lady, open the searchable catechism. Man, I wish I had that in college. Type in Mary. You'll see all the catechism references about our Blessed Mother. Create a group chat with your friends, send prayer intentions, click the prayer hands, select Catholify. Click the prayer hands and select a prayer to pray for them. They'll receive a notification saying, hey, Taylor just prayed a Hail Mary for your intention. Christina from Alabama says, when I received the call, my dad had broken his neck. I was 1,500 miles away. Helplessly, I stared at my home screen and saw Catholify, where Jesus was waiting for me in live adoration. I'm so grateful for this app, as am I, Christina. So Catholify wants to help you on your faith journey. So let's pray more. Let's pray together. Download Catholify, the free app in iOS or Google Play today. Welcome back to Forte. I'm Taylor Schroll, and that's Jonathan Leonardo Blevins. What's your actual middle name?
Charles.
That's so nerdy. You should let me make it up every time because it's such a nerdy middle name.
Jonathan Charles. It's beautiful.
You're not the King of England.
I actually am from Wales.
No, you're not.
I have ancestors
like a
that
whale.
once. I have ancestors that will. Wow. Yeah, a beluga whale.
I saw dolphins this weekend. I saw dolphins. I was in the ocean.
You're a dolphin.
Thank you.
You know, sometimes I forget that Texas is actually by the ocean.
It's by the Gulf of Mexico, yes.
Which is the ocean.
No, it's a gulf, but yes, sure.
Are there sharks in it?
Yep.
Ocean.
So aquarium.
Logic. Yes, aquariums are oceans.
I just saw the meme of you that somebody made of you doing the Death Nut Challenge you talked about earlier, like when the bridge of your favorite worship song comes on.
Oh, you mean like when I listen to...
Leave me where my trust is without borders.
You mean when I listen to Oceans and it gives me emotions?
But it's just emotions. That was a good transition. We're talking about emotions. Okay, so I was thinking the other day because I talked with my home parish. The first parish that I was professional full-time youth minister in was actually my home parish. So a lot of those parents have known me since I was 3 years old, right? Yeah. And then I worked there, and now they're telling me that I had an impact on the lives of their kids. It's wild because they met me at 3 years old. I mean, it's just crazy. So I'm talking to one of these ladies, and it got me thinking about, she saw me on this day. She got me thinking about my first day at work. And you know how important first days at work are, John. I have never acted like myself on the first day of work because it's not allowed, right? You
just have to be, polite and prove you're going to work hard. You dress up.
Keep listing off things that I don't do well, John.
Yeah. You got to trim your beard.
Right, yeah. So all the things, you're supposed to be just pristine. You got to be on time. You got to be professional. All of that stuff. So I'm going to be the high school youth minister. I'm driving from my house to the junior high. I have to drive by the junior high. So a lot of the parents, obviously the same parents of junior high and high school kids, they all know who I am, even though this is my first day at work because I grew up there. Okay. I'm driving through the junior high, and it's in the morning. So school drop off, right?
Yep.
I think it's the first day of school that I'm going to work. It's really close. So I'm driving in. It's a school zone, 20 miles an hour. Guess how many miles per hour I was going?
35.
No, I was going 20. But I got pulled over, and everybody thought that I was doing what you thought I was doing, right? So here I am, the new youth minister at the local Catholic church, and I'm sitting in my car, the policeman behind me, and because it's a one-way, each-way street, I'm diverting traffic, and all of these people, including many parishioners, staring as they go 2 miles an hour next to me and looking in and being like, hey, isn't that our new youth minister? And it looks like I'm doing one of the things that would be bad for a youth minister to do, not taking in the safety of young children. It looks like I'm speeding through a school zone. What it actually was, I had just moved from Ohio 2 days before. I had moved from Ohio. I had driven my car down. So I had Ohio stickers on my car, right? So they pulled me over because they're like, you can't have that here in Texas. And I'm like, I moved here. And within the law, you have 1 month to fix all that stuff. It just makes sense. So it's literally I didn't even get a warning. He's like, oh, it's my fault. No worries. It's fine. But it doesn't matter because of the perception of what did everybody.
Yeah, it's already been set. Right?
So it's already gone. So I want to talk today about times of extreme emotion. So I had two primary emotions there. One, it was so ridiculous that I had to laugh, right? I mean, it was just so crazy. This is terrible, and it looks terrible. But it was also it was kind of humiliating, right? It was because I'm like, one, I know what this looks like. I'm smart enough to know what this looks like. But in the end, it's fine because people would ask about it. It was kind of funny. So very humiliating, also kind of funny, high emotion. Okay. Do you have any high emotion stories? I've got a couple more if you need some time to think.
I mean, I have many. I'm gonna take a couple seconds to think while you tell your next one.
Okay.
But any emotion, we're talking happy, sad, high
anything
emotions.
in the range. As long as it is like, if you share a story of when you were happy, I want it to be the happiest you ever were.
Great.
Okay. We had an experience yesterday playing video games. You'll like this. It's a video game story. I was playing with our fellow co-host, Father Anthony Sharapa. We're playing our favorite game, Rainbow Six Siege. I said, all you need to know about this game is that every round starts with 5 people on your team, 5 people on the other team. You're trying to eliminate the other 5 or do the objective. Okay. That's all you really need to know. So 5 on 5, and it's really strategic. And essentially your job, like good players average a little over 1 kill a round. Because if you think about it, right? Like if there's 5 people, if everybody did their job, one person would kill one person, right?
Yep.
So there's a thing called an ace. It's like a squad wipe would be in Fortnite, where you kill
so one person gets everybody.
One person gets everybody. So like it's the multiplayer game that I am the best at. Like it's that I'm like within myself, right? I'm not the best in the world, but it's the game that I am the best at. I think I've played for like 600 hours total, right? And I think I've gotten 4 aces ever. It might be 5. I think I've got 4 or 5 where I wipe the entire team. So Father Anthony and I are playing yesterday, and it gets down to where it's 2 on 5. Me, one of my other teammates. Guy swings in, I get a kill. The other guy gets killed. So now it's 1 on 4, right? I already have 1 kill. I get 2 absolutely ridiculous eliminations on these guys. So now I have killed 3 of them.
Yep, 1v2. Time
is coming down. Another guy walks in. I pull out my shotgun, 1-shot shotgun, and they have 1 second left. I think it's 2 seconds left. 2 seconds left on the clock. And the guy, he has to do the objective thing. He can't be shooting at me because the time is running out. He has to plant the objective. Okay. So literally, he can't look up at me. I can hear him in the next room. All I have to do is turn the corner. There's no chance I'm going to die. Yeah. Because he's looking down at the ground, trying to plant this bomb diffuser. He cannot shoot at me. All I have to do is turn the corner and shoot him, and I would get my either 5th or 6th ace of all time.
Oh, no.
Siege servers crashed. We got kicked out of the game. And, John, I got up, and I said a lot of things that I need to go to confession for, a lot of things that should not be said. My family was in the next room. I walked over to the door, and because I was saying a lot of things they shouldn't be hearing, I slammed the door so hard that now that door doesn't close completely.
No way! Taylor, how loud were you yelling?
Oh, about as loud as I can. I was just so enraged because this thing that is so elusive was taken from me. It was taken from me. It's not like I turned the corner and he killed me. It was taken from me by a fluke, and I was so upset. And there's Father Anthony on the other line, and all he asks very calmly is, "Do you need to take a break?"
Which I almost guarantee you replied no.
Oh, you want to know what happened the next game? Do you know this about me, that I'm better at everything when I'm angry?
I kind of had a feeling that you were like a real life Hulk.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Is like my secret is that I'm always angry. It's just at different levels. I've learned to kind of control it most of the time until times like yesterday.
Yeah.
But like playing sports all growing up, if you disrespected me or made me angry, it was game over. It was game over for you. Like it was over. Which is essentially what happened yesterday. I was so upset. I did not take a break. The next game we played, we won 4 rounds to nothing, and I had 9 kills, 1 assist, and I died 0 times.
Yeah, that's
one
incredible,
dude. One of the greatest games I ever played because I was so upset.
Yeah, I'm upset. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. You've gotten funny and humiliating from me, and absolutely just uncontrollable anger.
Wait, what was Oh yeah, that was humiliating. Okay. I have a humiliating one. Is that okay? Or do I have to choose a different one? So my humiliating one is...
It's okay. People will understand. You're a man, so you only know like 4 emotions. So it's fine.
Yeah, thank you.
You have all the emotions to pick from, and you pick from one of the 3 I've listed.
Because if someone's still listening now, they don't hate video games enough to leave the podcast, or they just love us enough that they're going to keep listening. So I'll also tell a quick video game one. When I was at one point, I was actually a semi-professional Halo player. I was not. I was probably like in the top 10% of good in the world, whereas the pros, like the best players in the world, probably like top 2, top 3. So I'm not like I wasn't anywhere near those guys, but I played with a lot of them because my brother was on my team, and he was one of those. So Halo 3, we go to this big event. It's called a Combine. If you win the Combine, you make it into the pros, and you're pro. So I went to I think this event was Chicago, and so we went to this Halo Combine in Chicago, and it's me and my brother and 2 guys that I played with a lot online. We all got to meet, and it was a lot of fun. And we made it to like the semifinals. What's semifinals? Like the one right before the championship, or is that? Yeah. So we made it to the semifinals. So if we would have won, we would have been in the finals. And it was tied 3-3. We won 3 games. They won 3 games. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in that particular series against this team, I choked. I was not doing well. I was not going to hit my shots. I ended up just being purely objective, grabbing the flag, all that kind of stuff. Tyler was carrying really by himself. Our other 2 guys didn't do great either. But we got to a point where we're playing Team Pit Slayer, which is this great map, and it's 49-49. Next kill wins and advances to the finals. My name back then was Fresh, so I literally have this group of people behind me cheering like, Fresh, 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 because I got into a battle with this other kid who was 1 shot. All I had to do was hit him. When you have a BR, it fires 3 rounds. All I had to do was aim it near his head 1 time, and I win. We win. We advance. I'm pretty sure I had 4 total kills that game out of the 49. Tyler must have had 30. I mean, he was playing out of his mind. And they're just screaming like, Johnny's 1 shot. He's 1 shot. He's 1 shot. Fresh, Fresh, Fresh. I had full shield. Takes 4 shots to kill someone in Halo if they have full shield. He hits me once, twice, 3 times, 4 times in the head before I hit him once, and we lose the tournament.
And now we know why Tyler doesn't show up to family events like the Death Nut Challenge, because he's so ashamed to be around.
It's because of that. But he handled it so well. He gave me a huge hug after the game and stuff, and he was like, dude, you're not a pro. Like, I know I am, and you're not, and you did your best, and we had a lot of fun. But that team went on to win.
Also, not the greatest thing to say. It's like, we all knew coming in that I was better than you. We didn't expect anything of you, John.
Yeah. You know, and the thing is the team we beat, or the team that beat us, they ended up winning the whole thing. So we could have literally won that whole entire event if I hit that 1 shot. So very embarrassing.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we are. I like both of us. These emotions carry, right? That was how many years ago?
Oh, that was 15, 20 years ago.
And it still carries, right? And like I have stories from high school and like sports where like I choked and stuff. That stuff is still with me, right? All those emotions, the positive and negative emotions are still with me. I want to share one more. I had a lot of good emotions this week, contrary to the story I shared about yesterday. But we sent my kids to go be with my parents and my sisters for a week. So the oldest 2, so the baby and myself and my wife just spent the whole week together, and it was great. Like, I had a ton of emotions. Like, I missed my oldest 2 kids, like genuinely missed them. And boy, was that the wrong emotion, because they got back and I was tired of them within a day. But my wife and I, when it's just the baby, like, she can do her own thing. Like, we get to spend a lot of one-on-one time with her, which is cool. But at the same time, we get to do a lot of things, like just my wife and I. We got to watch, I think we watched like 3 seasons of 3 different shows, which like usually it takes us like months to get through half a season, right?
Yeah.
So, but one of the movies that we watched was a movie that I have shied away from for a long time. One, because I knew it was going to be an impactful movie about fatherhood, and a lot of times those movies are just kind of emotionally hard for me to watch. But also, I'm not a fan of like horror films or like scary stuff, right? Okay. A lot of my friends, like who know that about, like, know those 2 things about me, they were like, you need to watch this one. You need to watch this one. And these aren't people that would be like, hey, like, to try to trick me, right?
If you say Manchester by the Sea, I'm hanging up.
No. I've never even heard of that. Is that a soccer team?
No, that movie is unreal, but you will weep, and it is horrible. Keep going.
So this one, for me, it's way too late, and I just explained why it's way too late. It's A Quiet Place. Have you seen it?
I have.
Okay. So I know this is a way too late take on Quiet Place, but like, so the primary takeaway from Quiet Place, if you've seen the movie, great. We're ending the show in a minute and a half. So if you haven't seen it, you've stuck around this far. Why not stick around for the next minute and a half? And I'm not going to spoil it, but essentially there's this, like, it's the sacrifices that a father will go through to protect his family, right? And I think the thing that was most interesting for me, John Krasinski plays the father, plays the main guy. And it's interesting because he does everything to protect his family. There's one child in particular that has some blame in one of the other children dying. And it's just super tragic, right? And you can tell throughout the movie that the father, he never stops loving the child who's still alive, but you can tell that it's hard to have a relationship with her, right? And he does everything to protect her, even when he doesn't feel the love for her. And at the end of the movie, he just expresses that he's like, I've always loved you, right?
Yeah.
Intense emotions. We got to wrap it up. But the point that I wanted to make here is, like, I think throughout the last 5 months, we've all felt our emotions very deeply, from the hilarious ones to the bad ones to everything. And I think being able to, like, one, all those emotions are natural, right? That's a normal thing. We talked about this a little bit in our counseling episode a couple of weeks ago. But, like, I've been able to, like, essentially I started doing Bible reading plans, like essentially devotionals around these emotions that I'm feeling very strongly, whether they're positive or negative, just to kind of give that to God to try to become a better person. That is our show for today. Jonathan, thank you for being here.
I love it. Thank you for having me, bud. You're great.
That is Charles. He'll be back in a few weeks. I'll be back next week. Say it.